Hi, this video goes over the College Algebra College Project Worksheet. Worksheet is designed as you go through and find all of the information for your college, you'll be able to easily organize it for you. When you open up this document, it creates a copy for you. So you want to make sure that you just start replacing your name at the very top. The example that I give, I will go over some of the common things in this worksheet so that you're successful with it. But if you have any questions, please reach out to your instructor to help. So the example that I'm going to give is an example that not many of you will probably use. That's on purpose. If for some reason you find that you do want to go to the University of Oxford, I'm going to ask that you switch your college to a different one. That way we don't have, essentially, I'm doing the work for you. So please curtail this to your individual institution that you wish to use. Before I begin, I want to make sure that if you haven't read through this entire document already from beginning to end, go ahead and pause the video now, take the time, and go ahead and read through it. If you don't, some of the things that I go over will be too quick for you to understand. So go ahead and do that now. Assuming you've done that, moving on. First, what you want to do is you want to find all of the costs for tuition, room and board, books, course supplies, other course fees, any personal expense and transportation fees, and then any other fees that you will have for your institution. As I mentioned earlier, I am talking about going to the University of Oxford. That is a very prestigious college in England. And if you just, essentially what you want to do is you want to research where to find that information. So what I've done is I've already kind of found the main information from the website. Undergraduate, you're looking for undergraduate. You would be an undergraduate because you've not yet graduated from college. If you see any listing for graduate, that's assuming you've already graduated from college. An example of those, and anyone seeking like a master's degree or a doctoral degree, specialist degree, that sort of thing, they would be a graduate application. So just kind of look through what you need to find. I've already examined the website and gone through and found kind of where I needed to go. Fees and funding will get me the information that I need. It's going to be different for your website and for your college. One of the things that has for Oxford is known for being expensive. It's also known to see, there's a lot of scholarships. In fact, it starts out with scholarships. They know they're expensive, so keep that in mind. Also, I want to point out that everything that's listed on this website is going to be listed in British pounds. Here's an example. So keep that in mind as I go through and do this particular example. The conversion rate between pounds and American dollars is slightly different. So going back to the college project, it says tuition cost. So this is the cost for enrolling and taking courses. So here it looks like 2020 course fees. So I'm going to just click that first and see kind of what pops up. Course fees for 2020 entry, and so it gives some ideas depending on where you're at. It also gives information on this. So this is where I said kind of ahead of time, you want to make sure you research and find out all the information because it gives you kind of an idea of what you need to look for. Also, it gives here, like, it tells you if you're doing, if you're from outside the EU, stands for European Union. Class either is it overseas or island students. So if you're an overseas student, charge significantly higher level of course fee. So it kind of tells you the difference between kind of what's going on. It also says course listing, medical students, determine your fee status. So there's a lot of information, just kind of going on here. And then it also includes what we mentioned coming up, you'll hear about the percentage increase. Each year, it costs more. This one also talks about the year abroad. So going through and checking through everything, you want to make sure that you find all the information that you have. So this one says the overseas annual course fees payable by student is between £25,740 and £36,065. Clinical medicine fees significantly higher for overseas and island students. So I'm looking for an education degree, similar to the degree I have, so I'm going to be focusing on that. make sure you pay attention to things like this, asterisks, because this says, hey, if you're going for a clinical medicine sort of, program, it's going to be a little bit higher. So looking through where we have, you want to look for, let's see. So for this page, I want to look at, here we go. The living cost, course fees, government support. So this is kind of where I'm looking at. And then here, the course fees paid by matriculated students are for the provisions of tuition, supervision, academic services, and facilities by the university, including your department or faculty in the college, but do not include residential or other living costs. So this one basically just says, hey, this is what's going on for the college, and everything that you have that you need is for the tuition part, not for the residential or other living costs. Now, different than America, the Europe area, England including, has a different kind of payback system for loans and fees. And so the information that I have that's applicable for myself in this situation comes down here, where we're going to use this upper estimate for the course fees. So this $36,065, assuming I'm an overseas student. So flipping back to the other document, tuition costs for my first year of college. Now, be careful, this is annual course fees. Sometimes it'll just give maybe a semester, in which case you'll need to double it. Also know that an average student takes about 15 credit hours per semester. Sometimes you take more, sometimes you take less. But if it just gives you for 3 credit hours, then you will need to multiply that number by 5 to get 15. Assume that you're taking about 15. So I'm operating 36,065. So 36,065. And then I'm going to put, you would put dollars, I'm going to put pounds. To denote the difference. So this is my tuition cost for my first year. Room and board. So this is the cost to live on campus and for the school's meal plan. So you may not be living on campus. You may be living at home with family. You may be living somewhere else and paying rent. In that case, figure out the room and board cost for that year. So here, I found living costs for 2020, and so it even says, hey, it depends on your lifestyle. And then it gives in a list for per month. And then also it talks about how here it is per month, and then here's also the total. So they just multiplied the numbers by 9. It also gives you kind of an idea of how much you're going to be, utilizing. Also gives you a budget for social activities, things like that. And then they also give some information about other, things, how they got this information. They surveyed students. So looking at the upper range for 9 months, because I'm a classy guy. So this is 14,850 pounds for 9 months. So going back to that sheet. So this is going to be 14,850 pounds. So this is the cost for room and board. Now, also, one thing to note is talks about books and supplies. So here it kind of also talks about study costs and any other things, and that's included in that. So in this situation, I don't have any additional things for books and supplies. And then also for, transportation in this case, this is living on the campus. So my information doesn't have any additional ones for these. However, many institutions in the United States, will have a book and supply fee. The book fee you may have to dig to find, but generally they give it on the admissions page or your degree of study page. For example, some programs are very book intensive. There's a lot of books you may need for psychology courses, for example, where you may not need as many for some other courses. So just check that out and note that as well. The personal expense transportation fee, a parking pass falls under that category. A lot of students miss that, so make sure you include that as well. And then down here at the bottom, all other fees applicable to your institution here. So if you have any other fees that may be charged, for example, additional costs. So for me, getting a visa, traveling, to and from Oxford field work. So anytime that I would schedule a flight there and back, then that would be something that I would list under all other fees. So for me, the book and supply fee is already included, so that would be £0. Same here for the personal expense, because that was already included in the fees up above. Actually, I guess the transportation fee, I'm assuming that this is the transportation fee on campus. So for my other additional fees, that's where I'm going to include that information for going back and forth. So assuming that I come home, let's say I come home 3 times a year. So over the course of, a full year of study, I come home 3 times. I'm estimating that the flight for that to be anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 US dollars. Converting that over, so the current conversion, converting dollars to pounds. So it looks like if I convert, let's go 1,000. So that's going to be 802 pounds, 40 pence. So this would be roughly 1,600. So let's just use this. So this is 1,604 pounds 80 pence for this. 1,604 and 80 pounds. So this would be for my additional fees. So the next thing that you want to do is add up these total costs for your first year of college. So everything that's underlined, that I underlined above, so anything that's indented, I went ahead and indented in case you lost the underline. You're going to add all of those together. And then put that cost here. From there, you are going to increase the cost, tuition, everything rises, generally at a 5%. And so this example problem here gives you kind of a rundown that if one semester costs $10,000, then the next semester would cost $10,500. Then you use $10,500, do the next one, and so forth. This 105 over 100 doesn't change. The x over the previous cost, x is what you're trying to find. The previous cost is that previous year's. So for any subsequent years, you're going to use the previous year here in this spot. This example gives 10,000. And then X is what you're finding. Go ahead and make a picture for this, and then take a picture and then insert it here under the work for the year 2 cost, the work for the year 3, year 4, and then year 5 if that's applicable for you. If you already know that you've received some scholarships for your institution, then go ahead and include them here. So you've already been accepted to the institution, you received scholarships, go ahead and include that money here, and then you get your total college cost. If you've not received scholarships or you're not yet eligible for them, do not include them yet. So only if you've received and accepted those scholarships. If you have any questions, reach out to your instructor. Thanks.